in 79 AD, the wealthy Roman cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum disappeared, suffocated in a blanket of ash from nearby Mount Vesuvius. The city and its people would spend nearly 1,700 years in solitude, but then, in the 1760s, the city was discovered and excavated, and the story of Pompeii has been world famous ever since. Last year, the Birmingham Museum of Art hosted an exhibition of artifacts from Pompeii that drew the second highest visitor total in the museum's history. Pompeii has always been a crowd pleaser. Painters, poets, and playwrights were captivated by the doomed city and its fiery death. Wealthy travelers made Pompeii a can't-miss stop on the Grand Tour, and tourists have been visiting in the thousands ever since. UAB historian Daniel Lesnick says Pompeii is so striking because it's so real. The dramatic frescoes, leaping out in vivid color after nearly 2 millennia in the dark, the gleaming jewelry of the city's wealthy inhabitants, and especially the body casts, impressions left behind in the volcanic ash by decomposed citizens of Pompeii.
It is our single best source for knowledge and understanding of daily life 2,000 years ago. There is no other site in existence that shows us a world that existed that long ago. We get this incredible picture of how people lived, what they believed, how they lived their daily lives, their political life. There's still political graffiti on the walls.
UAB geologist Scott Brandy says the reason we get such a clear picture of Pompeii may be due to its architecture. Many of the city's roofs were flat, which allowed volcanic ash to build up in huge drifts before they collapsed.
The collapse of the roofs brought in 5 to 10 feet of volcanic material, which not only killed people in their tracks, but also provided a cover of all those frescoes and the objects in the home.
Famous paintings of Pompeii depict flames of fire shooting out of Mount Vesuvius, but in reality the temperature of the volcanic material that landed on Pompeii was not very high. It was low enough, in fact, that glass vials survived intact.
And so when this volcanic material fell, bodies were not burned, and the frescoes were not charred, and wood was not incinerated. And so part of the spectacular preservation that we have in the homes on the city streets and around the community of Pompeii is due to the volcanic circumstances where the temperatures were not sufficient to basically incinerate.
The temperatures also help preserve a dazzling array of medical instruments, including a set of surgical tools in a bronze case. UAB surgeon Dennis Pappas, who has a collection of ancient medical instruments, says the Romans could use these tools in impressive ways.
They could do any type of an operation that was on the surface, and they could do a hernia. The Romans were known to be able to operate well on hernias. They could do eye operation, remove cataracts, and they could do it well. They could do hemorrhoid surgery, fistulas, anal fistulas, or any abscess, of course, on the surface. And then they could do the oldest operation known to man. They could burr into the skull, into the brain. Techniques have been refined as time goes on, but the technique has not changed. It's nothing new, as the old saying goes, nothing new under the sun.